I see that being asked a lot. Dillon Danis in the UFC. Is that something that you'd ever entertain?
I don't know. Do you think he should be? I heard he just retired.
I don't know. Yeah, I know the UFC is all about like the best of the best. As a fan, I'd watch it, but I don't know. I know it's like maybe he has to earn his way, just like any other fighter would have to earn their way, right?
Well, here's the other thing. The other thing with him is, and I have no beef with the kid at all. I've probably said 2 words to him in my whole life, but every time he's around, shit's going down. You know what I mean? And we can't have that stuff going on here. We can't. You know, a lot of people will see like when guys get into it on stage or something starts to happen, they're like, oh, they must love this or whatever. No, we don't love it. We don't need that shit to sell fights. And basically what happens is when that
goes
down.
Like the physical altercations and shit?
The athletic commission goes crazy and people start getting fined and, you know, they come after us. It's our job to keep that shit under control. That's why when you see these other events where these guys and everything breaks out like that, it's a fucking... Those guys are it's
a shit show, right?
Yeah, total unprofessional clown show.
Does the impact that he had on the Prime card with the amount of pay-per-view sales they sold, none of that's like, damn, maybe we give him a try?
What do you mean?
Just because he got a lot of credit for selling a lot of fucking pay-per-views.
I don't know what they did. I haven't heard about anybody selling a lot of pay-per-views lately.
I think they claimed it was 1.3 million.
I don't know what numbers it actually did. I think he just obviously hyped it up a lot.
Let me tell you this. Let me tell you how hard it is to sell 1.3 million pay-per-view buys. And if you did sell 1.3, if you sold fucking 700,000 pay-per-view buys, they'd be putting on fights fucking 10 times a year. When you hear those kind of numbers fly around the pay-per-view world, they're lying motherfuckers. Don't ever believe that shit. Yeah. You know how much fucking money that is if they went in and cut a deal and did 1.3 million pay-per-view buys? Anybody who's been on any of these fucking horrible boxing shows, and I like you know, Logan and some of these guys are involved in this shit. If you come out and you say that you did 1.3 million pay-per-view buys on your event, you're lying through your fucking teeth. Lying through your teeth.
Yeah.
That amount of money that you would make, they'd be fucking doing pay-per-views all the fucking time. And let me tell you what, every pay-per-view distributor out there would want them, and Showtime wouldn't have went out of business.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think that event too, kind of like, I was personally even like hyped up for it just because of the personal beef, obviously. But I think after watching it now, it just kind of ruined it because the fights were so bad. And it's like, it's not something that you'd actually pay for. Like maybe I'm just going to wait and see the clips on Instagram.
100%.
You know what I'm saying? Like I'm not going to watch it live next time. I think
much cheaper and a much better experience. Yeah. The production sucks. The fucking fights end up sucking. It's shitty boxing is what it is.
Yeah.
And I'm not trying to shit. I don't care what these guys do.
They crushed it. They obviously crushed it.
These are just facts.
Yeah.
And to say that they're doing any numbers, all these different people have tried to invest in this shit and they've tried to raise money and do all this other bullshit.
Right.
People would be fighting over them.
Yeah.
Fighting over them and throwing fucking truckloads of money at them if they did anywhere near 1 million buys. None of those fucking guys are doing 1 million buys.
Yeah. It is just crazy. Like when you think though, the power of social media, like no one really wants to see those guys fight, but they create so much beef on Twitter, on their phones, that people really will tune into that shit instead of watching 2 great fighters that are kind of quiet.
Well, that's the problem right now for boxing is that, you know, these guys are overshadowing the guys that are actually really good and the fights that could be made. You know what I mean? Yeah. As far as hype goes.
For sure.
But as far as sales go, no.
In the long term, it's probably bad for the sport.
I don't know, man. I mean, when we talk about it, we've been talking about what's bad for boxing and boxing's dead for the last fucking 30 years, but this shit's still going on. But, you know, there isn't the money in it that everybody thinks there is.
Yeah.
There's not. And there's no business there at the end of the day. It's all just a bunch of hype and bullshit.